guys, welcome to Cake Talk. I'm actually a bit early today. I apologize. Can't believe I'm apologizing for being early, but yeah, I kind of need to do this because I need to take my son somewhere. So let's get started. Ton of questions on Instagram. Actually, this one's from Facebook. This is from Toya J. Waller on Facebook. Can you use modeling chocolate instead of fondant? Is there a difference in using cake flour and regular flour? Okay, so those are two questions. Yes, you can use modeling chocolate. You can cover cakes with modeling chocolate, depending on the temperature of where you live. It might be a little harder. And also there's different techniques you can use for modeling chocolate that are really, really cool. I'm hoping to use one soon on how to cake it, where you can kind of like roll it through a pasta machine and curl it up and wrap it around a cake, which is really, really cool. So I'm hoping to do that really soon. And the difference between cake flour and regular flour, or what we call in Canada all-purpose flour, is cake flour has less protein, therefore it's a softer flour. Even when you touch it with your hands, you can sort of feel the difference. And often cake flour can sort of look clumpy and lumpy in the bag because it is so soft. I bake mostly with all-purpose flour. It works well in my recipes. I have tried both. And for structured cakes, I do want my cakes to be a little more dense. So I hope that answers your question. Next, here's a live question from The Eye. Oh, you're definitely watching me. Do you have a favorite recipe from Austria or Germany? Yes, my dad used to make apple strudel, and I love apple strudel. And every time I have apple strudel and it's like sort of cheated, like often bakeries will use like a phyllo pastry to just make a quicker apple strudel. I'm like, this is not the real thing, because the dough that goes around the strudel is this dough that gets stretched and pulled like really, really, really thin, like paper thin, almost so that it's transparent. And then, you know, Casper always calls me during Cake Talk and I can't talk to him. Anyway, the strudel dough gets pulled really, really thin, and I haven't had that in a while. Last time I was in Germany, I made sure to have some. So thank you. Next. Okay, let's go back here. Okay. This is from Candy Keen on Facebook. How did you come to the decision to build your kitchen, and what was the process like? I came to the decision to build my kitchen once I thought I can make a living making cakes. That actually took a long time. So I didn't have this kitchen for about, I'm going to say 7 years. That sounds right. Because I just wasn't sure. And cake decorating is a difficult business because you'll find often people don't really want to pay for all the time it takes to make cakes that look like this. And I didn't have a vast portfolio. So I actually worked in bakeries part-time and made cakes on the side. And I used to do that, you know, when I still lived at my mom's house in my mom's kitchen. And so that was very limiting as well. Me always asking her to empty her fridge because I had to put a cake in there. So finally came time when, you know, I had booked enough sort of weddings and bar mitzvahs and really special birthday parties that I thought, okay, I can do this on my own. It was very slow building. And so I built this kitchen 10 years ago. Yeah, wow. And it was a lot. And also when I built this kitchen, I knew I wanted to be nut free. A lot of my clients had allergies to nuts, and that meant I had to buy my equipment all new, which made it even more expensive. So it was a really scary thing for me. I'm very happy to say it worked out, but it was scary, and I didn't do it until I knew sort of that I could maintain business. Okay, Candy, I love your name. You sound sweet. Okay, this is from Selena_PW on Twitter. What do you think is your most popular cake video? P.S. I love your videos. Well, I don't think I know that my most popular cake video is Walter Melon the Watermelon. That video has over 7 million views. And that's so satisfying to me because making a watermelon cake was always on my bucket list of cakes. It was just something I thought would be really cool and really fun. And who doesn't like watermelon? And so when I made him and you guys responded so well, and and even the fact that I talked to him, which is kind of kooky, it just makes me so happy because that cake made me so happy. I'd never made a watermelon before, and I did it for you for the first time. Yeah, so Walter's like part of the family. He really, really is. Next, this is from Rochelle Jensen Thompson on Facebook. I'm making a Dr. Seuss book cake for my 3-year-old, and my question is, how do you suggest I go about making the cover of the Happy Birthday to You book? Okay, well, 2 suggestions. If you don't have a lot of, letter cutters, I have a lot of letter cutters. Some of them aren't even for fondant, they're for cookies, but every time I see like alphabet cutter sets, I become obsessed and I want them just because they're not really available in a lot of different fonts and sizes. So tappets are amazing. And then there's letter cutters. But I could also suggest the old-fashioned way, which is to, for example, print out something on your computer. So you could type out Happy Birthday to You, whatever font you like. I suggest not doing something too scrolly because that's harder to cut out. And make sure it's the right size to fit on your book cake. And then cut those letters out with an X-Acto knife from the paper, and then use those templates to cut your letters out of fondant or gum paste. I do think gum paste is a little easier because it dries on the surface, so you're less likely to sort of pull and tear it. But yeah, you could do it the old-fashioned way, and what's cool about that is you can, use your favorite font and set it up exactly. You can sort of see when you print it out on the page how it's going to look on your book. So that would be my suggestion. And have patience if you're cutting out the letters by hand, because that's what it takes. Okay, so next, this is from, oh, you know what? It says it's from @MaddieMoo on Twitter. When will you make the best animal in the world into a cake? A unicorn. But I have a feeling that Maddie Moo is really Jocelyn, because Jocelyn is obsessed with unicorns, and I feel like she sets up all these like fake Twitter accounts and like tweets at me till I make a unicorn. So yeah, get a lot of unicorn requests, and I get it. They're cute, they're colorful, they're all around like happy animals. Okay, next. Oh, okay. This is from @PoppyHuget or Huget. I hope I said that right, on Twitter. What is it like knowing that over 1 million people watch your videos every week and know so much about you? Wow, that is an excellent question. I guess I'm still adjusting to that because How to Cake It grew so quickly, and thanks to all of you. But it's kind of weird. It's overwhelming and amazing. It's amazing to know that, all of you are watching, all of you are here with me right now. And really, you're just watching me do something that I've been doing for 18 years, and I would be still doing if you weren't watching me. But now you watch me enough that this has become my full-time job, which is amazing. But yeah, it's really weird. I think the weirdest thing is that, in real life, this is real life, but in real life, I'm a grown woman. I'm going to turn 39 this summer. And, my fans are all different ages. So some of them are my age, but some of them are a lot younger than me. And so that's kind of odd because, like I said, I'm an adult. I have opinions. I have feelings about things. And I try to keep How to Cake It very light and fun and most of all, positive for everyone to watch. But at the same time, I'm still me in here. And so maybe you won't always agree with me. This last week, I did a cake. I dedicated it to Beyonce. I'm going to her concert in 2 weeks. And I felt like a lot of you had sort of strong opinions about this. And I think I owe it to myself to always be me. I think everybody owes it to themselves to always be them. And if you don't agree, that's okay. And if you do, great. But no matter what, I want to have fun in here and I want to express myself because that's why I love doing this. So next, hey, Yolanda, this is from @put_a sprinkle on it. Put a sprinkle on it. I'm sorry, that's a great name on Instagram. Hey, Yolanda, my name is Ashley. You inspire me so much. My question for you is, how do you color ganache? Okay, that's an excellent question. I've done it in 2 videos that I can think of right now. So in my candy cake, I color white chocolate ganache. And in my scaredy cake, I color dark chocolate ganache. The Scaredy cake, I wanted it to be black because it was for Halloween. So coloring dark chocolate, which is already dark brown, black, is much easier than trying to color white chocolate black. You'd have to use a ton of food coloring, and then it would really start to affect the flavor as well as the consistency of the ganache. So if you're going darker, you could color dark chocolate ganache. If you want to color white chocolate ganache, it's great because you can make bright colors. I did like a hot pink. And so what I like to do is, if I know I need the whole the whole batch of ganache to be colored, I like to do it when the ganache is still liquidy. So after I pour in my cream and I let it sit and I stir it, I'll add the color then. It just like mixes in better. You can see what it looks like, and then I'll allow the ganache to get thicker. But it's great. It's a great trick. It's tasty, and it just makes the cake look so like fun and exciting. So yeah, that's how I color ganache. I definitely wouldn't recommend coloring it after it's set, like if you want to use it to ice a cake, because the thing about ganache is if you over stir it, it can start to split. Like the fat in the chocolate starts to split and it starts to get sort of grainy. So you definitely want to do it when the ganache is still in liquid form. And good luck. I like to use gel color. That's another thing. I like to use gel color because it's less liquidy. Yeah. That's another great tip. Okay. Wow. Oh, I want to go back to the screen for a minute. This is from Artina. Oh boy. Kirkuti. I hope I said that right. Hi, Landa. I'm sending love from New York. Yeah, I love New York. I was just in New York for the YouTube Creator Summit. I love New York. I am a huge fan, and I wanted to know who your biggest inspiration in baking is. You are my inspiration. Love you, yo. I love you too. I have a deep love for Mike McCary. He's a cake decorator. He's amazing. I've always thought he was amazing. There's just something about his work. I love it. I love his point of view, and I really, really enjoy it. So thank you for that question. Okay, here's another question. This is from Josephine Robin. Hi, how do you come up with all the cake shirt ideas? I always find them very original and funny. Thank you very much. So cake shirt ideas are we have like a running list. Whenever we hear something funny and we think we could turn it into a cake pun, we like write it and add it to that list. But also we try to play off whatever I'm making. So it's a combination of me, Jocelyn, Connie, my partners, and then Hammy, who helps me out with all my social media, who's amazing, and she helps me out with stuff like this that I don't even know how to work without Hammy. We just like start an email. So we're like, okay, this week I'm making donuts. What should it be? And then we all just write our ideas and we pick one. And we also think about how it will look on a shirt, because it's important. See, like this one? It's time for a little cake. I shot a Alice in Wonderland, or rather Alice Through the Looking Glass themed cake this week, and so this is what we came up with. I love the color of this tea. This might be one of my favorites, and it's always time for a little cake. So I could wear this shirt every day. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. You know, when we first started, we just thought we'd have a few shirts that are always great, like I Heart Cake, and you know, but we found as we went along, coming up with new ideas for shirts was just so much fun, and you guys really responded and enjoyed them, so that makes me happy. Okay, so next, wow. Okay, this is a good question, actually. This is from Camaro Gomez. Hi, Landa, from Australia here. Just wondering if you have any tips for electric ovens and baking. The tops of my cakes are always brown much faster than the cakes cook. Thanks. Love the show. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't baked in an my oven is electric, but it has a fan, and that makes all the difference, which makes it convection. And what that means is it blows the heat in all around, and so your cake is sort of getting even heat all around, and it helps it bake much better. Whereas most electric ovens, the heat is just rising from the bottom. So when I used to bake at my mom's house in her kitchen, I would always make sure the rack was right in the middle. So not too close to the bottom and not too close to the top. The other thing I would do is not, unfortunately, fill the oven with too many cakes, which was really hard because when I, first started making wedding cakes, I had to, like bake one tier, then take it out, then bake another one. So it took But yeah, you really want to make sure to try and center the cake. Also, ovens sometimes have hot spots. That's why you want to bake one at a time, because sometimes if you shove like 3 in, the one in the back corner gets baked faster and gets more brown on one side than the others. Rotating your cake is a big thing in an electric oven. Let's say you're baking a cake that bakes for an hour. I'd really suggest rotating it 3 times if you can, at the very least once, so halfway through. But every 15 minutes, if you could just rotate it, clockwise, that will help. Yeah, and it really depends on like the age of your, where was I? I went to somebody's cottage once, and I wasn't baking cakes, but I was baking cookies, and they just like turned brown in 2 seconds because the oven was so much hotter than the temperature I had set it to. So the best way to get to know your oven, unfortunately, is to bake in it. So maybe make some cake batter, divide it into even sized pans, and just test. Maybe your oven is a little too hot. It's hotter than it's actually what you're setting it at. Try to bake it, 25 degrees less and see what happens. And just enjoy eating all that experimental cake. So I hope I helped you. This is an excellent question, actually. This is from Bam Hammy. Hi, does Canada have everything that you need for baking, like equipment? Actually, yes. Now the answer is yes. When I first started, like 18 years ago, the answer was no. In fact, a lot of my first cake decorating tools I actually bought in England. I went to see my cousins and my great aunt. They live in London, and England had everything. And I remember it was so expensive because I'm a Canadian and I had to buy everything in like British pounds, and it was just so expensive. But I couldn't get my hands on these tools in Canada, or if I could, they were expensive anyway because they were imported and they were only sold at like one store that was an hour away. So, but now, thanks to the internet, the world is a very different place. And so there are sites that I order from, and they're not all based in Canada. Some are, but I can also order things from around the world, which is so, so amazing, thankfully. Really helps a cake decorator out. Okay, so next question. Here's a good question. This is from Juno. Juno, you've been here before. I remember your name. Canada has music awards, and they're called the Junos. So there you go. Hi. Okay, can you vlog? Juno, I'm afraid the answer is no. The reason is I spend a lot of time in this kitchen. A lot. I probably spend, at least 8 hours in this kitchen a day, sometimes more when I'm shooting. 16 on was it Tuesday? Yeah, on Tuesday I was in here from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. So that's a very long time. And when I'm making a cake, I get very into it, and that's all I want to focus on. I find it very hard to even like check my email or check a text message because I just feel like it's distracting me from what I have to do. And then when I'm not in here, the truth is I try to spend as much time as I can with my son. He's just little. He's only 2.5, and he deserves my love and attention. And so I don't really want to vlog when I'm, having quality time with him or pushing him on the swing or whatever we're doing, because he's very young, and I feel like this is my dream and it's great, but I want to let him figure out who he is, and I want him to find his dream. And I don't want him to think that I expect him to be a cake decorator. I mean, it would be, at least he likes cake. That's good. That is a start, but he could be whatever he wants to be. Okay, so next, here's a good question. This is from Crimson Gardens. That sounds lovely. I just pictured like a field of red roses. Okay, can you use just water rather than simple syrup? What is the difference? No, I would not suggest water. Simple syrup, because you boil the water and sugar together, it creates a syrup, hence it's called that, which means it's like a thicker liquid, so it won't saturate your cake as much as just water would. If you just pour water on your cake is just going to absorb it like a sponge and then be soggy. Whereas simple syrup is not going to do that. Yes, it is going to absorb, but it's not going to saturate it and make the cake soggy. And don't worry about it making the cake sweeter, because it really doesn't. I get that question a lot. It does not make the cake sweeter. You're just showering on like a layer of simple syrup to help lock the moisture into the cake. Thank you for that. Oh, wow, this is an interesting question. This is from Chelsea K. Why don't you make a mirror cake with a mirror, wait, mirror cake with a mirror cake with an actual mirror inside so we can see Jocelyn? And is Jocelyn there? No, Jocelyn is not here. I'm not ignoring her. I would absolutely be talking to Jocelyn. That's all we ever do. And this girl is driving me crazy. Sorry. Oh, yes. Okay, so the only way to do that would be to use an actual mirror, and a mirror is not edible. But I will think about that. I know you guys want to see Jocelyn. You can see Jocelyn on my Instagram. You can go see her. Okay. So next. This is fabulous. I love this question. This is from Divya Shri Narasimhan. Oh, I hope I said that right. Yolanda, I am from India. Make a friggin' collab with Lilly. Then my 2 favorite YouTubers in one would make my life complete. Love you a lot. Well, I love you a lot. That would be amazing. I actually just met Lilly for the first time. Oh boy, I think it's 2 weeks ago. Is that 2 weeks ago? It might be 3 weeks ago. They opened a YouTube creator space here in Toronto, which is so amazing for all of us Canadian YouTubers to have. And I met her there, and I actually couldn't even go up to her because I was so nervous. I was like, she's standing right there. And Jocelyn's like, let's go up to her. So Jocelyn went up to her and introduced herself and introduced me. And I met her, and Lilly gave a speech that night, and she's just so amazing. And you can even see how like other YouTubers look up to her and love her. And I mean, she's funny. Who doesn't like funny people? And so that was amazing. And then last week, I was actually invited to the YouTube Creator Summit in New York City, which is one of the most amazing things I've ever done in my life. Amazing. I got to see Sia perform, and her dancer, Maddie. Okay, I'm rambling, but blew my mind. And so Lilly was there too. She was actually like the MC of one of the events. She was incredible. She got to meet Big Bird. Big Bird. Yeah, so I would love to collab with Lilly. I am actually I make a cameo in a Superwoman video. It's the If Drake Had Other Jobs video. I pay her. She's the cashier, and I pay her at a gas station. So that was fun. So of course I would love to do something with Lilly, maybe when she's back in Toronto again. Next. Oh, okay. I kind of answered this. This is from Karina Loiseau. I hope I said that right. Hi from Europe. When you put syrup on your cakes, do you put less sugar? No, I don't. And I just mentioned that the syrup doesn't make the cake sweeter. Oh, I'm sorry to move on so quickly, but this might be my favorite question ever. This is from Flaushing Yang. Could you make a special episode where you and Jocelyn swap roles? Yes, yes, I want to make that episode. We need to convince Jocelyn. I want to sit in the chair and watch and produce while Jocelyn, I'm going to use the word attempts to make a cake. Nothing would make me happier. I'm going to giggle all day at the thought of this question. Jocelyn, are you in? Okay. This is a great question. This is from Khattak 1706. Do you still want to eat cake? Yes. You can see me eat it at the end of every video, and I actually keep eating it after. Yeah, I love cake. I really do. I really, really, really love cake. I eat the most cake while I'm decorating. So like when I'm cutting off the hump or I'm carving, I tend to eat that cake more often too, because when I used to make cakes for clients, you know, I'd have to give them the cake, so I couldn't take a slice out. So I would eat it. I would eat all the cake in the lead up, but once it was done, I rarely got to eat it unless I was at that party. Okay. Okay, let's go back to Instagram because there's so many questions. Oh, here's a good question. This is from John Manos 701 on Instagram. Do you ever put your cakes in the fridge after baking to cool them faster? Can that dry them out or make them sink? Wow. I've only probably done that like once because I had no choice. But even then, I try not to do it immediately. Like I don't pull it out of the oven and put it in the fridge. I try to let it cool at least halfway and then put it in the fridge. But I do actually put them in the fridge once they are cool whenever I'm carving a cake. And I write about that in my blog sometimes. It's easier to carve a cool cake. The warmer your cake is, or even if it's room temperature, the more crummy it's going to get when you carve it into a shape. If it's cold, I know that some cake decorators like to do it when the cake is frozen. So they like to cool the cake and then freeze it for a bit to make it even easier to carve. So having a cold cake will really, really, really help you carve a cake. But sometimes you're in a mad rush. Like sometimes you're like, I really want to bake a cake for my friend and I don't have that much time. And so yeah, let it cool for a bit, put it in the fridge to sort of be hot and humid here. And I need to do that. So, okay. This is funny. This is hilarious. Okay, get ready for this. Never been asked this. This is from Bam Hammy again. Can you pose so I could take a picture with you? So I'm guessing you're gonna go in front of your computer and take a picture. Okay, I hope you're ready because this curl. Let me fix my curl before I pose with you. Okay, you be on this side. Okay, ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. That was weird for the rest of you. I'm sorry, but I had to do what I had to do. Okay, can we just talk about this? I get sad when I get asked this. In the first video, you said you would love to visit Denmark, Copenhagen. Have you ever visited Denmark? I'm from Denmark, so please. This is from Magnus. I actually love the name Magnus. When I was going to name my son, that was one of the ones on the list. Magnus Mayer Iverson. I would love to come to Denmark more than I could even tell you. When I was in New York last week, I went to the MoMA because I'm obsessed with this design company from Denmark. And I was like, I don't even want clothes. I just want these gorgeous designer rulers. So I would love to come to Denmark. I need to like save up all my money because I'm so obsessed with Scandinavian design. I'm going to like ship myself home in a crate full of beautiful things. So if I ever come, I will let you know. Not if, when I come, I will let you know. Okay. Oh, well, I like this. I like the way this question is worded. This is from Abdullah Sakhini. Sakhinini. I'm sorry. How did you become so professional in decorating? I don't know. You know, I do know. The answer is practice. So I've been doing this for 18 years. Practice, 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 practice. And honestly, I still feel like I'm practicing. Most of the cakes I make on How to Cake It, I've never made before. And so I try my best every time. And to be honest with you, after every single video, I think to myself, I could have done that. I should have done that. What if I did it this way? Next time I do that, I'm going to do this. I think it every single time. I think about different techniques I could have used, or maybe I should have waited a little longer before I did this. Or maybe, you know, that cake would look, maybe this book cake would have looked better with this font. So I'm always learning and wanting to improve and get better. And I think that's great in whatever job or passion that you have, just the longing to improve, because the truth is it will make you better. That desire to be better will make you better, and so will hard work and practice. And you can eat tons of cake along the way. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Okay, next question. Oh boy, I'm horrible with laptop mouses. Okay. Okay. Well, oh, here's a good question. This is from Carrie Angela A. Would you like to visit Germany? I have been to Germany. I'm half German. My father is from Germany, and I've been to Germany 4 times. The last time I went was 2009, but I am planning to go this year, and I'm very excited because I'm going to bring my husband and son. They have never been to Germany, so I'm very, very, very excited. I love Germany. I can't wait to come back and do more, and I also hope to visit my family when I go. So yes, I have been to Germany. You can't tell by the way I attempt to speak German. I have. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a good question. This is from Hi, Yo from India. Would like you to share about Mr. Cake and what was his reactions on your creations? What's his favorite of all? Love you, XOXO. Oh, and that's from Rashini Ravichandran. Rashini Ravichandran. Okay, so Mr. Cake has seen a whole lot of cakes. In fact, when I made cakes for clients, Mr. Cake was like my delivery boy and sidekick. Because sometimes my cakes, A, are too heavy for me to lift on my own, and B, I don't actually drive. I'm terrified of driving, and driving with a cake in the car is even scarier. And there's a lot of venues that don't even let you like park in the front. Like when I would deliver cakes to hotels, you could not park in the front. So I would just have to like take my cakes and run in. Um, and that's scary. So he has seen a whole lot of cakes. The good thing is he always reacts and he's always like, wow, that's great. That's cake. Sometimes he even says, that's cake. You can eat that. And I'm like, dude, have you been here the whole time? This is what I do. So, and I think his favorite was, I've actually only ever made Mr. Cake one novelty cake. That's right. We've been together 11 years. I've only made him one, and that was 5 years ago when he turned 35. I made him a bottle of wine because my husband and I love wine. Red wine in particular, and so I made him a bottle of wine and I named it after him, and I even wrote the description as a description of him, and I put a bow around like the bottleneck, and then the cork was out, and I've actually saved, I don't have it here, I saved the gum paste cork that I made, so I've had that cork for 5 years. And so, yeah, but Mr. Cake, here's a secret about Mr. Cake. Mr. Cake is turning 40 this year. So I'm gonna have to make him a cake. I at least have to make him a cake every 5 years. I think that's pretty fair. He does get a lot of cake scraps, so don't feel too bad for him. So I've got to think up what I'm gonna make him this year. And on that note, thank you for being here with me at Cake Talk. I'm sorry, I really wish I could answer all your questions, but there's literally hundreds and hundreds of questions. Yeah, so I hope I will get to them next time on Cake Talk. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.